All right, those of you who saw my previous video where I refurbished a steering wheel will know that it's planned to go into the 91 GMC day van, which I'm sitting in here now, and we're going to fit it. So what we'll have to do, it's standard steering wheel removal and installation. We'll have to remove this steering wheel, which we do by popping off the centre cap and disconnecting the horn, and then using a steering wheel puller and an impact gun to pop this steering wheel off. This steering wheel is quite nice. I'm, torn as to why I'm removing it, but it's nice and all, but I want a wooden one just so that it fits in a little bit more with the day van. So I'm going to get set up and we'll start pulling this apart and see how it goes. So we've popped off the horn button. The battery's still connected to this, so we'll have to be careful that we don't let this connection touch earth. And we're just going to pop off the main steering wheel bolt with I think it's a 21mm socket on this. We've got to take the bolt all the way off, because otherwise we can't get to both of the holes for the steering wheel puller. They're a bit tight, close together on this. So we'll just pop that off. Straight off. I would guess that this has been off before, judging by that. We'll have a see if we can get the puller on there now. First thing I want to do is see if I can move. Is that a washer? No. Just wondering if I can pull the steering wheel straight off without using the puller, but I don't think I can. There you see, that one goes in fine, and the one on the other side is a little bit tucked behind what I thought was a washer, but it might actually be part of the steering wheel. That's odd. Gonna get a drill bit and see if I can just drill the side of that bolt out and see if we can get a extractor bolt into it. Just trying to show you exactly what's going on here. So the puller bolts into that bolt there, that part of the steering wheel there, and that part of the steering wheel there, but there appears to be a ridge around the casting. One side of it has been slightly drilled away so that you can get the bolt in for the puller. This side hasn't, so that's where the horn wire comes through. So I just need to run a drill into there just so that that clears, but I don't want to pop the drill through because I don't want to damage the thread. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put you down and do that, and I'll come back to you when it's done.
A few moments later.
And after dicking around with it for a good 10 minutes, I've found out that this wheel has been off in the past. And obviously they had an issue with getting one of the threads in because the threads are both different sizes. So we've got the two different sized nuts from our puller. The smaller one fits perfectly into that side, and the larger one fits perfectly into that side. So of course the issue that we've now got is I haven't got puller bolts that are the right length or matching lengths, so we're going to have to mess around with washers to see if we can actually get this to work, and probably use bits from 2 different pullers, but we'll persevere and we'll see if we can get it off. And that's it, it's off. So here we've got the world's cheapest rinky-dink Chinesium hub kit, which comes in pieces. So first piece goes on there. At any point, if I was to touch that connector to anything metal on the truck, it'll ground it and the horn will sound. So that's why I'm being careful to hold that out the way. So that goes through there, that goes onto there, and then that part goes onto there. This would have been fantastic if I'd put it together before I started, but I wasn't sure that the steering wheel was going to be straight, and in fact, if the truth be known, I'm still not sure, but we'll put it in and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, eh? Looks like it'll help to line, once I've got one bolt in, it'll help to line the other 2 up if I pop a screwdriver in. And yeah, everything lines up. I'm going to use my fantastic little socket set again. And that's the hub on. We can now bolt the hub to the column and then bolt the steering wheel onto the hub. And here's the steering wheel that we refurbished. Mine, it's its centrepiece, which will be the last thing to go on because it's got the horn push in it. The kit, the Boss kit, comes with some little countersunk set screws that hold it onto the Boss. So we'll screw that together and then get the front panel on. And before we go any further, we just want to make sure now that the steering wheel is on and in its final position, that in this particular vehicle, which is a column shift, we want to make sure that the column shift works. It contacts the back of the wheel actually, if I pull it all the way, but it doesn't need to. So I suppose what I could do with doing is just bending that column shift back a little bit so that it doesn't make contact. But we'll look at that further down the line. Now we want to put the horn push and the centerpiece in. So it's got 2 little spade connectors on the back here. One of them connects to the original wire that comes out the top of the clock spring. That's the earth for the horn, and then the other wire will earth onto that connector, which is makes a connection into the centre of the Boss, which earths it. That's on. Quick test. Horn works. So we'll screw this on now. It attaches with 4 posi drive screws through the holes into the back of the wooden piece. There we go. Refurbished, in, fitted, working. Gear shift works. Absolutely spot on. Quite pleased with that. That looks really, really nice. Far better in my opinion for a day van. If it was a commercial vehicle, I don't think I'd have bothered, but because it's a day van conversion, I think that looks all right. Anyway, I hope that's helped. If it has, consider dropping me a like or even subscribing. Doesn't cost you anything, and it makes me look really good to YouTube. And they might start paying me, you never know. So yeah, there you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope it doesn't rain on you too much, because it's raining here. And I'll see you next time.